Hello, class. Welcome to 4.6, Solving by Subtracting. All right, in the last video we were solving equations using addition. Now, these are solving equations that use subtraction. We learned about something called the inverse, right? The inverse of an operation was essentially the opposite. So if you had an operation like, let's say, addition, the inverse or the opposite would be subtraction. Subtraction's inverse is addition. The inverse of multiplication is division. And the inverse of division is multiplication, right? That's how you cancel things out in algebra. Now, what we're going to do today is we are going to solve subtraction problems using addition. So here is an example. Let's say we have the equation k, which is some number we don't know, minus 30 is equal to 10. Well, how do I solve it? My first step is to identify my operation. And what's my operation? Well, it's subtract 30 to get to 10. So the opposite of that would be addition, or let's add 30 to both sides, and let's find out what number gives us k. So you drop the k because nothing's happening to it. K. Negative 30 plus 30 is 0, so they cancel each other out. Drop the equal sign. Nothing's happening to it. 10 plus 30, as you know, should be 30 more than 10, or 10 more than 30, which is 40. Therefore, we say k is equal to 40. K has now been isolated, which means to be by itself on one side of the equal sign. And now what we're going to do is, since we know that k is 40, or so we think it is, we're going to try to prove it. And how do we prove it? Very simply. You rewrite the original equation, k minus 30 equals 10. And then you use substitution to replace the k with what we said it was, which is 40. And so we say 40 minus 30. Does that equal 10? And the answer is, well, 40 minus 30 is a difference of 10. So yeah, 10. Does that equal 10? Yes, it does. So therefore, we say to ourselves, k here is worth 40, right? It's the same idea of saying, look, if I had 1, 2, 3 things, how could I make those equal, I don't know, 2 things? Well, I would have to take 1 away from this side, and that would make it 2 equals 2, right? It's the same process, okay? So let's try it again. Let's try a different problem. Let's say I had the equation that said n minus 5 is equal to 20, all right? So how would I solve this? Well, first I need to identify the operation, and the operation is minus 5, right? So simply, I do the inverse, which would be plus 5. When I do to one side, I must do to the other to keep it balanced. Then I solve. So drop the n because nothing happened to it. Negative 5 plus 5, or 5 minus 5 is 0. $20 plus 5 is 25. Let's clean it up a bit. N plus 0 is just n. Nothing happened. And 25, we're just going to have that. So we say that now that n has been isolated, n equals 25. Now, how do we prove it? Very simple process of rewriting the original equation, which is n minus 5 is equal to 20. Replace the n with what we said it was going to be, which is called substitution. And we said n is 25, so 25 minus 5 equals 20. Is that true? Well, take away 5 from 25, yep, and that returns you to 20. Does 20 equal 20? Yes, it does. And there you have it. Now, let's try one where the variable is not in the front. Let's try, here's a good one. We'll do 2 more, and that will be the end. How about 8 is equal to whatever s is minus 5? Remember, we are trying to get the variable s by itself. So how would I do that? Well, I need to get rid of this negative 5 or this minus 5. So all I need to do is simply do the inverse, which is going to be plus 5 to make it 0. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side of the equal sign. So I add 5 to the 8, and then I try to clean this up. 8 plus 5 is what, 13? Drop the s because nothing happened to it. Negative 5 plus 5, or 5 minus 5, is 0. Now let's clean this up a little bit. I've got s because, all right, let me make that negative. S plus 0 is s, and then we have 13 by itself. So in this equation, we're saying that 13 is s, right? So let's prove it. We have 8 here. We have s minus 5 on this side. That's a minus sign, sorry. Let's make it a little thicker. All right, I need to replace, or substitute is the word, substitute. 13 for s. And let's see. What is 13 minus 5? I have 13, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, which leaves me at 8. Or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There you go. 13 minus 5 is 8. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, using addition to solve subtraction problems. Let's do one last one just to be safe. Here we go. Here's a nice one. We have 0 equals something minus 8. First step, identify the operation. What's the operation? I've got a negative 8. Okay, I'm trying to get x by itself. So I need to do the opposite, which is plus 8. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. Let's clean it up a bit. So I've got 0 plus 8 is 8. Drop the equal sign. Drop the x because nothing happened to it. Negative 8 plus 8, or 8 minus 8, is 0, so I don't need to do anything. So therefore, x is equal to 8, or 8 is equal to x. Now let's prove that is true. Let's prove it. Rewrite the original equation. 0 equals x minus 8. Replace or substitute what we said x was, which is in fact 8. So we've got 8 here minus 8 equals 0. And let's finish this out. Does 8 minus 8 equal 0? Well, 8 minus 8, 8 take away 8 is in fact 0. 0 equals 0. We are good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you solve not substitution rather. That's how you solve negative or subtraction problems with addition. We will see you in the next video.